lovely host.
Yeah.
Lovely. 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 And what great poets tonight. Wow. That was a brilliant use of native space there. Mark, Laney? Mark, Laney. And Mav, thank you for your lovely kind words about me earlier. You made my eyes all watery and smudgy eyeliner. Which leads me nicely onto my poem about beauty, which some of you may have heard already. And yeah, it's about that paradox that most women deal with, which is kind of, an anger maybe at society about how we are objectified, we are, let's face it, but also wanting to conform, so really difficult, sort of, wanting to burn your bra whilst making sure your mascara is perfect. It's a difficult line we walk, us ladies. Anyway, without further ado, the beauty myth. Perhaps if I'd been Daddy's little princess, apple of his eye, bounced on his knee, destined to fall from the family tree, complete some man's theory, tessellate with his wanton shape, I'd feel more at ease inside this skin, less akin to a bargain bin, open for any hand to rummage deep, take a piece cheap and not care less. Perhaps a few more, oh bless, isn't she lovely? Then I'd know that beauty is only skin deep, rubs off as the exfoliating hand of time grinds away as grand goals mutate into helium balloons floating away. A slip of the fingers and the knowing of our wingless nature becomes a growing concern. We cannot fly to catch what is lost. As the lines and creases form like tide marks left after the ebb and flow of lovers come and gone, why do I obsess over burying them? The flotsam and jetsam of spider veins, red legs spreading around open pit pores. Was it that I found my dad's dirty mouth under his bed, with perfect porcelain perks, an open pouch ready to suck out the marrow and core of knowing I was something more than just a doll? A figurehead carved on a ship of fools, with a cargo of sugar and spice and all things superficial. It's official, my name is Clare and I'm age anorexic. Sick at the thought of running ever more up a moving flight of stairs, the floor of aesthetic perfection unreachable, my brain unteachable, for now at least unpreachable, about the bliss of surrender to the inevitable blender that awaits to whisk away our youth. The truth is, unless heads turn when I enter a room, and only beauty will do. I could try smelling of poo, noses may turn heads then, but when porn mixed with Disney crap is swilling around, one is bound to need appreciative glances. The chances of allowing, for example, unwanted facial hair are slant indeed, and girls take heed. If you should find what I like to call a straight eyebrow lurking on your upper lip, or worse, your chin, for God's sake, leave it in. Hell hath no fury like a diabolical follicle relieved of its stalk. Talk about upping the ante, it'll come back harder, darker. Rally its friends, and it all ends in 5 o'clock shadow, a second mortgage and more to go to pay for all out later war. So until Vogue is replaced with vague, I'll push gently out my comfort zone of makeup and dye. Try facing the postman in all my scrubbed morning glory, and when he takes a sharp intake of breath and asks if I'm okay, I'll say with pride, or at least pretend it's pride, hey, I can't hide who I really am, and no, I'm not ill, and thanks for the phone bill, and I have a very nice personality. I'll begin to shun conventionality, resist the lure of pure bovine-derived toxin to paralyze parts of my face, peel away from the interlaced pain of childhood invisibility, see all clocks telling the time as now, and somehow learn to accept whatever state this vehicle of meat that carries around this sentient collection of chemical reactions, and know that physical attractions have more to do with actions than anything else anyway. Thank you. I'm a little tired and emotional. Oh, I could just weep. No, I won't. You might all see what I really look like without makeup on. Oh, the shame. I will do it one day. I will just let it literally all go. I'm going to do it one day. And now this is me. Still fancy me? Do you? Well, do you? Anyway, my last poem is going to be about counting our blessings in life. When I was a little girl, my parents actually, very important people. So I've done so much, therapeutic work on letting them go, they've just sort of blended into the background now. They have no power over me anymore. Yeah, they would always say, Claire, there are always people worse off in the world, okay? There are always people worse off in the world. And I think I kind of grew up feeling a bit guilty about complaining about anything, about feeling bad about anything, because there surely was always somebody worse off than me. And I wonder who that person is, actually. The person in the world who is literally, the worst off ever. I think they are also thinking, oh well, it could be worse, there's someone worse off than me. No, probably not. Anyway, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Heaven knows there's enough. But it's a useful mantra to manically chant when I can't seem to keep all my plates spinning and I'm brimming over with anxious knots all tied up in my belly when I realise the baby's bum is smelly, my daughter's too close to the telly and holy cow, the dinner's burned now and we've run out of milk and the MOT's due on the car, I've got to get to the spa. Other convenience stores are available, full of saleable goods and stuff, loads of stuff. Plastic, fantastic, must-haves, mustn't-haves, naughty but nices, exotic spices, veg from afar, worth the air miles to bring smiles. I mean, we've got to give peas a chance. My trolley must have legs to dance, or a big footprint at least. That carbon's a bit of a beast. But they must have their 5 a day to keep the reaper away. Is it him who pushes the hands on the clock, winds up our hearts at the start, sets them tick, tick, tocking away till, hey, our molecules divorce, go to reinforce the soil so others can toil over seeding, weeding, feeding, breeding other bundles of joy and panic onto this manic speeding globe. Apparently we are spinning very, very fast, and yet a stillness can be felt. How can that be? You see, we're all paradoxically here. Some are born into fear. Their small stuff is a dirty well. A single quench could send them straight to hell, alive, of course, until their bones almost protrude right out of the bin. Ooh, this hummus has gone off and he's throwing in the bin. And there's been a terrible drought, there's no crops to reap. Got my washings in an enormous heap. And elsewhere a boy's leg is blown clean off by a hidden bomb, worth a bomb to someone whose prayers are directed at the god of income. My little girl wants a new dress for her birthday, but what with the price of oil, bread and lecky going through the roof, to tell you the truth, we'll get it from Oxfam. Are those charities a scam? There to sell us goods often made by the sweatshop boys who spend all day singing about the Western world. That's a bad joke, unfurled off my tongue that gets to taste and talk freely without the fear of ending up in some dreary cell, tortured for my words and their meaning. Oh heck, it's parents' evening tonight. What will I wear? My hair's got roots coming through, my makeup isn't done, and my bottom looks big. Perhaps that's one useful aspect of wearing a burqa. No one would see the knackered mess that lurkers within. Should I begin to feel grateful for my lack of submission? The pressure of beauty does rub with heavy attrition. The dynamics of freedom, it seems, are as complex as those of repression. The urge for survival and choice replaced by depression from the burden of choice. Wealth redistribution, is that the solution? Or population control? Maybe a killing spree is the best action I can take. Oh wait, don't make for the exits just yet. I'm just rambling, scrambling to find my balance in this life. Affluenza, the sickness of the wealthy. Influenza, that'll make you feel unhealthy, and that's small, isn't it? Tiny, in fact. So small is a relative concept dependent on your unique perspective. But I'll stick to my mantra and keep my smalls in the drawer where they belong. The one marked don't sweat. And try not to forget that we can make a difference as long as we make like a germ and get up some ungrateful people's noses and let our words make them squirm. Thank you. That's it for tonight. I feel all worded out. I don't know about you. My word sponge is completely saturated. lovely. It's been very lovely. It's all been lovely, and you are all beautiful, and I have very good vision. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody.
One more thing. Why not come to the next Back of the Pub Poetry Club? It will be in approximately 4 weeks, usually the third Sunday of each month. Sometimes the announcer gets things wrong and uses words like announcer. Sometimes the MC has actually had some sleep. But thank you all very much. Thanks everybody.